Hello everyone, so today we are going to build AI-powered journaling application called Mood Log. So the idea is really simple. User write about their day and AI instantly analyze the entry to identify their mood, generate a short summary, and provide a few reflection questions. So let's try. So anyway, for the demo, I just want to copy and paste this one right here. I saw Mark at the cafeteria today and he was sitting with new girlfriend. They were talking too much and sharing snack. I want to go over and say hi, but I just froze. Turn around and blah blah blah, right? So let's try to click analyze mood and then hopefully we can see the response down here. As you can see, this is the result. It's hurt, basically the feeling. So let's click that. Then as you can see in here, right, we have the summary. You feeling deeply hurt. Then this is the reflect on this. That's the application. Just really simple. So we are going to build this full stack application using OpenCode. So OpenCode is basically open source AI coding agent. Then we are going to use just free AI model called DeepSeek version 4, right? This is just free AI model, guys, but it can be create like a full stack application like this. It's really, really cool. So basically we are going to use a Neon console for the database. Then we are going to use AI SDK, then using this Gemini 2.5 for the AI model. Then, yep, we are going to try to make sure we follow this step in here. First, we create the PRD, build the UI, the backend, then integrate front end to the backend, then commit to the GitHub. Then we are going to deploy that to the Vercel. As you can see in here, I already deployed that on Vercel. So anyway, that's what we are going to learn in this video. Hopefully this is helpful. So let's get started. All right, so I hope you already see the final project. So now let's try to create that project step by step. So this is basically the step by step that we are going to do to create that mood log project, right? Then we are going to use basically OpenCode. OpenCode is basically open source AI coding agent that you can install that in your terminal. You can just copy this command in here, paste that to your terminal. So now as you can see in here, I'm going to create a folder called mood log and cd to that mood log. And now I'm going to open my OpenCode in here. And this is basically the OpenCode look like on the terminal. And in here you can access the model, like for example, there's a couple model in here that you can find. And for this video we're going to use just free AI model called DeepSeek version 4. So now what we have to do first is we are going to try to create the PRD. This is my prompt to generate the PRD. And of course, I create all this prompt using the AI, right? You can just talk to the AI to please create me a prompt to generate PRD, right? So first it's basically tell the AI to generate a file called prd.md. Then I explain what the project is. It's just mood log and we have the power daily general web applications. Right consists PRD covering one, this is the problem, right? This is the target user. Then this is the features. The features, first we have the write a journal entry in text area, no authentications required for MVP, and Gemini AI analyzes, right? Then we have the homepage, lists all page and entries with mood, tag, and date. We have the click and entry and blah, blah, blah. Then the tag stack is basically using next.js app router, TypeScript, Tailwind, Drizzle ORM, Neon Postgres, and Vercel AI SDK with Gemini. Then out of scope for MVP is user authentication, multiple user, mobile app, export, and notifications. Keep it under 2 page, use clear headings and bullet point. I'm gonna copy that and you can use Gemini to generate the PRD or you can use Cloud Code, ChatGPT, whatever, right? I'm going to use my Cloud Code in here. This is a free account basically that I'm going to use Sonnet 4.6. Then the effort is medium. Then I'm going to check this thinking in here. Great. So now let's try to click enter and let's take a look. All right, the PRD is done. As you can see in here, we have the prd.md file, which is pretty good. Let's take a look in here. This is the problem, the target user, the features, and also let's take a look down here, the tech stack. Right, just make sure everything is like what you want. The user flow, then out of scope, success metrics. Great. So now what we have to do is just download that file. Right, just download the file. Then now we are going to open again the terminal, the OpenCode. Then in here, I'm going to asking the AI to generate the brand new Next.js application. My prompt is in this current folder, generate latest Next.js app router, use TypeScript and Tailwind CSS. So I'm going to hit enter. As you can see, I'm on the plan mode just to make sure the AI doing whatever I want. Alright, it's done. So now let's try to open this project to Visual Studio Code. Because sometimes OpenCode respond Chinese language, so I'm gonna put this text in here on the agent.md, always respond in English. That's it. Then next thing is what we have to do is we need to try to build the UI. Let's go back here and I'm going to open the OpenCode on the terminal in the VS Code. Then in here, first I'm going to try to make sure I'm on the plan mode. Then I'm going to run this prompt in here. You cannot see that. I hope I can paste that in here. So my prompt is pretty simple. Read the prd.md carefully. Now build the complete UI for moodlock using Next.js app router and Tailwind CSS. Use mock and hardcode data for everything. No real API call or a database yet, right? And of course, we have to just bring the file, the prd file that we already generate from the cloud code. So I'm gonna paste that in here, right? Let's try to hit enter. Alright, we get this question, mock data location. The PRD say no user authentication for MVP. Should mock data live in JS or TypeScript modules? So I'm going to say dedicated mock data file. It's basically will create mock data.ts file. I'm going to do that. And also for the detail page approach, I'm going to say these recommended things in here, right? Entry/ID, that's the standard Next.js pattern. And also the mood color scheme, I'm going to use the PRD colors. Then try to hit enter. Then as you can see, now we have this question, does the overall design above look correct? Any change or whatever? You can just go scroll on the top in here just to make sure everything is like what you want. So I think everything is fine. So I'm going to click this looks good, right? Alright, finally this is done. As you can see here, it's basically create some file. As you can see, this is the file. It's have a type.ts, mock data, layout, page, and etc. Right? Great. So now let's try to open a new terminal. Then here I'm going to run open npm run dev. It's basically will running a localhost 3000. So we are going to try to open that on the browser. Then as you can see, guys, the UI is really nice. I love this one. It's pretty cool. If I hover that, we have the like a shadow on the bottom here. I love that. Pretty nice. So let's try to click this thing right here, right? As you can see, it's basically open the detail. Pretty nice. We have the summary, the reflect on this. Pretty nice. Go back. This is basically the emotion, right? So now what we have to do is let's move right here. I think the PRD is done. Then the UI is also done. Next, we need to build the backend. Let's go back here. Let's go back to OpenCode. Before we create the backend, I like to just commit, right? Asking to the AI to commit this. So I just say commit this and the AI will commit this code basically. All right, it's committed successfully. Now let's try to working with the backend, right? So to working with the backend, first we are going to create a account on the Neon. So I already created that in here. And basically what you have to do is you have to install this npx neon ctl add latest init. You can just copy and paste that to your terminal. I already do that. So what I have to do now is I'm going to just asking to the AI basically, right? You can just follow all this step, right? Just make sure the MCP should be adding to your OpenCode. So as you can see, if I open my MCP, right here I have Neon, right? This is connected. My prompt is really simple. I'm just asking the AI to create a new project on the Neon PostgreSQL called moodlock. So let's try to hit enter and hopefully Now the AI will create a new project here, right, called moodlog. For now, I just have one in here, one project. Let's try to see. Hopefully the AI know what I mean. All right, it's done. As you can see, it's created neon project called moodlog. Let's go back in here. As you can see, after I refresh, I have the moodlog in here. Really nice. So now let's build the backend. So my prompt is set up the database, use Vercel ORM and PostgreSQL database from Neon. So let's try to hit enter. And hopefully it's basically will install the Drizzle and everything, the package that need to connecting the Drizzle with the PostgreSQL from the Neon. As you can see, the AI installed the Drizzle ORM, the Neon database serverless, and also the Drizzle kit and also the .env. Really nice. Alright, so the Drizzle ORM plus Neon PostgreSQL is done. As you can see, this is the file that already created. So let's try to go back to the Neon, right, console.neon. And as you can see in here, if I go to table, we already have table in here, I believe, because in here we already created that, right? The schema, as you can see in here, we have 6 data in here, the content, the mood, the summary, everything in here is done. Really nice. And also this automatically commit, I believe. Yeah, the AI will automatically commit that. Really nice. What we have to do now is we need to integrate the front end with the back end. Let's go back to Excalibur, and for the back end, it's done basically. Pretty simple. Now let's try to integrate the front end to the back end. Before we integrate the front end with the back end, I think there's something that we miss in here. So let's go to app, and as you can see, there is no API folder. That means there is no API route for now. So let's try to asking the AI to basically create the API route for moodlog. So let's hit enter. Alright, so the API route created and commented successfully. As you can see, we have 3 endpoints in here. First is API/entry. This basically will get all the lists. Then we have the API entry for post. Then we have the detail get as well. Great. Now what we have to do is we need to connect the moodlog UI to the real backend and replace all hard-coded mock data. Great. Let's hit enter. Anyway, I'm not yet asking the AI to install the Vercel AI SDK and Google Gemini provider, but the AI will doing that on these to-dos basically. So it's great job. So anyway, the AI still read the PRD, I believe. So as you can see, it's install the AI and the AI SDK / Google. So let's try to just wait that until this is done. Alright, great. So now what we have to do is we need to put the Google Generative AI API key. So I'm going to copy the name here. Then I'm going to go to my environment variables. Then let's just try to make it small, then paste that right here. Now let's get the API key. Let's open the aistudio.google.com. Then this is my API key. I'm going to copy that and then paste that right here. Here we go. I'm going to save that. All right, of course, now we can try the application. So I'm going to go back in here. Then I'm going to paste this entry. Today I was a bit stressful. I had a huge math test this morning and I don't think I did it very well. So that's my entry. Let's try to click analyze mood. And as you can see, we get this error on the first try. Let's take a look at the error. I'm going to open that. And as you can see, it's basically this model Gemini 2.0 Flash is no longer available. Yeah, the problem is because the model is not available. So let's try to open the Gemini, and as you can see, the model that available right now is the 3.5 Flash and also the, I believe, 2.5 Flash, right? Please use Gemini 2.5 Flash because in here I get this error. I'm gonna copy the error and paste that in here because just paste that, right? So now let's hit enter. As you can see, it's basically changed the model. All right, it's done. Now let's try. I'm gonna try to refresh that again, and try to paste my entry here, then click analyze mood, and hopefully this is working right now. Or we get another error. No, it works, guys. So basically the mood is mixed. Let's try to click that on the detail. And as you can see, this is the summary. Then this is the reflex on this. Let's try to go back, and I'm gonna try to another entries in here. I had a bit argument with my friend Alex today. So let's try to analyze that mood. You can see the mood right now is hurt, right? I think this is correct. Let's try to click that, and this is the summary. You are feeling deeply hurt and ignore after an argument with your friend Alex and blah blah blah. It works pretty nice. So now let's try to go back to Excalibur, and I'm going to make sure the integration now is basically done. And what we have to do next is we are going to commit that code into the GitHub. But first, I'm going to make sure that I commit this change first, commit this, right? Let's open my GitHub account. Then now I'm going to try to create a new repository. Then I'm going to give a name mood log right here. Then let's try to make sure I just want to put that as a private, or maybe it's fine to do that on the public because I'm going to share the code for you guys. Then I'm going to click create repository. Then I just want to copy everything in here, then paste that to my AI. So let's say run this. I'm going to paste that and hit enter. Alright, this is done. As you can see, it puts all existing comment to this URL. Let's try to refresh that, and hopefully now all the code should be right here. Really nice. And of course, you always can asking your AI to update the README, whatever you want. Great. So now let's try to open the Vercel. Then what I have to do right now is click add new project. Just make sure you connect your Vercel with your GitHub. Then as you can see in here, we have the mood log. So I'm going to click import. Then here I'm going to, let's say, yeah, for the environment variable, you can just copy and paste that from your env local in here. I just copy and paste that like this. Then now I can just click deploy like that. Really simple. All right, so basically this is done. As you can see, we get the preview in here. Then we can just click continue to dashboard. Then this is basically the URL, the domain. So you can click that, and basically your application right now is alive. Really nice. Let's just try to write entry in here. I was really struggling with my history project today and felt super overwhelmed, but then my classmate Mia stayed after school for extra hour just to help me organize my note, etc. So let's try to click that, and hopefully this is working on the production URL. Let's take a look, and as you can see, it's grateful. Yeah, that's what I want. Really nice. It works great. Let's go back in here, and yes, we already commit that on the GitHub, and we already deploy that on the Vercel. Nice. So I think we're done, guys, with this project. All right, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully this is helpful. And remember, we're already doing that everything in this project here using free AI, right? So thank you so much for watching. See you on another video.